Running backs. I had posted a poll on Twitter asking which of the 4 ORSMEN ran the best, in your opinion, Husker Nation. Dowdell took that crown with Emmett taking second place. Do you agree with the Dowdell pick? If so, why? If not, why not?
Little column A, little column B. I do think that Dante Dowdell is our most dynamic running back. I think he has something special. But he put the ball on the ground, and Matt Rule stuck to his word that he said, if you're going to fumble this ball, you're not going to play. And he did get in one more play later in the game, did not touch the ball. And Gabe got all the short yardage touchdowns. I think he isn't good enough to be running back 1. I think he does have something a little bit different than the other guys have. If you can run for 200 yards with 4 guys, do you really need a bell cow? Dowdell played really well, but do we need one guy? Can we just run all 4 and keep them fresh all year? Because we know one of them is going to get hurt.
I might start considering Rule kind of like a gambling man. Does the risk outweigh the reward? Did Dowdell show you something that the other 3 did not? Was there a super steep drop-off in production from running with Dowdell and running with the other 3? And then you translate that to the risk of, well, did the other 3 fumble? And did he? Which one is more important? Is the losing the football on the 3-yard line a bigger deal than needing a bell cow?
If you just look at the stats, Emmett Johnson, 71 yards on 8 carries, an average of 9 per carry.
And one of those was 41 yards. Though.
Exactly.
Yes. And got caught from behind. That is the most annoying part because we've talked about Emmett Johnson.
Not a big home run guy.
He's not a home run guy. He doesn't have that extra gear.
Nah. Like if you're watching the game, Dowdell overall ran the best, more consistently, but how often have we talked? If only they wouldn't have turned the ball over, they would have won. I want to forgive Dowdell. I want to. But dude, if you put it on the ground, I can't trust you, man. I've been heartbroken too many times.
Dowdell shouldn't have coughed it up. However, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt this one time and say that UTEP player put that helmet perfectly on the ball, which is true. Sure. Did you expect an entire season with 0 fumbles? I feel it's unrealistic to expect none all season and label a kid as a fumble risk. Last year, who was the fumble risk?
Anthony Grant, who also wore the same number as Dowdell.
Anthony Grant, preseason, Matt Rule is in front of the media saying the dude has fumble problems. And I keep telling him, if he keeps having this issue, and then what happens? We go to Minnesota, and they put him in, and he fumbles the ball. This year, Matt Rule's not talking about Dante Dowdell being a huge fumble problem. And maybe it really was just a one-off thing. A helmet hits it in the perfect spot, which will happen against any team that you play. It happens to every team in the country. I really didn't see a huge drop-off from the 3 compared to Dante.
When Dante scored that first touchdown, though, the way he was carrying the ball, he had the 4-point.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think it's
No.
I think it could have been a one-off thing. I don't think you're going to throw the guy in the doghouse.
No.
Especially if they go back and watch the film. Like, he was the most aggressive runner. Vision was there. There was an extra burst there and the power. Like, I feel like he's kind of a mix of all the other guys. I don't know if he has the breakaway speed. We didn't really get to see that, but I did see Ramir running a giant hole.
Yes.
And he runs in the back of the offensive lineman.
I called that one out when we were watching it.
That was brutal. I think Emmett has the best vision. That dude can get skinny real fast.
Yeah.
Gabe was fine in the short yardage in that role. He can do that. If that's his role, less reps, less chance to get hurt.
Everybody is just kind of on the same level here. It'd be one thing if Dowdell was Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, a helmet knocked it out. We're still going to play Adrian Peterson all day, right? For me, I would probably start Dowdell against Colorado. Dowdell is probably not a fumble risk. There's a reason why Dowdell started this game. You have to think over the course of spring ball and fall camp that Dowdell has not shown this to be a problem. If it wasn't, Matt Rule probably wouldn't have started him.
Well, and honestly, he would probably say something to the media. Because the media is going to ask, why didn't we see Dante? And I guarantee you he would say, well, because he had fumble problems all offseason.
And it's funny, right? Because when spring was rolling around, Dowdell was one of the names that he mentioned as like, yeah, he just hasn't really stood out.
He was fourth.
And so just the fact that he is now starting, you got to think that lit a fire
under. He's a gamer.
Under.
I think he's the type of guy. We saw it in the spring game. When the lights are the brightest, he's a gamer. And we kind of saw it on Saturday. He was a gamer. And he balled out until he didn't. Short leash. So I think Matt Rule has to have a short leash with him. If he does put the ball on the turf again, I don't expect to see him for a long time.
Matt Rule has the luxury of having 4 running backs that have all seen the field. At
Yeah.
some point in their career, they
Yeah.
have experience. So he has the benefit of being like, yeah, you know what? I'm sticking to my word. And if you turn over the football, you're out.